Today's witch word of the day, Kevin, is a boggart. And these are from English folklore. These are household spirits that are usually malevolent. And funny enough, this is where a lot of our terms for like evil spirits come from, such as a bugaboo, or a bogey, or a bogan, or a bogeyman, or a boggle. And there's actually only one place that refers to boggarts as shapeshifters, and that's Harry Potter. Because if you remember in Harry Potter, they turn into your biggest fear, so you never know what they actually look like. And that's actually funny because that's the reason why I picked it for today. And that's not even part of like the original myth. But yeah, it said like the ones that lived in houses supposedly were less malevolent. They would just like turn your milk sour or like play tricks on you. But the ones that lived in the marshes, you need to watch out for those bitches because they would like steal children and like yeah, they were mean little bastards. So that's our thing for today, a boggart.
Amazing.
You haven't even read that?
Wait, what are you doing with the book?
So he has the confidence to finish the story.
Hear now the words of the witches.
This is Kevin, and welcome to Words of the Witches, the Charmed podcast that will guide you through the lesser-known published material in the Charmed universe and decide how it fits into the grand narrative of the TV series.
Well, welcome to Words of the Witches. 80, is this 87?
You don't
Isn't
even
it
know
87?
anymore?
Yeah. He doesn't know anymore. He can't count that.
I always forget. I think it's 87. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be 87.
Okay. And I'm Kevin, your resident Charmed resource.
And I'm Sean, and I just love comic books.
Yeah. And we have a guest today. It's my friend Steven.
Hello, just friend.
You're my friend, my old friend. But
Old.
But I keep saying old friend, but you say don't say old friend.
Yeah, don't say old friend.
Say
Very close
friend. Long-term friend.
Long-term friend. There you go.
Wow. How cool. Last week I met Sarah, and now I'm meeting your longest friend. We said not old friend, longest friend.
Yeah.
We'll go with longest.
Yeah. I met you
Okay.
in second grade.
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
But we didn't become friends until 6th grade.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, thanks.
Yay.
You were on this podcast before.
Yeah.
On the Seasons of the Witch Volume 1. Only Volume 1 that ever existed. Back when we did that. But you binged this podcast.
Yeah, I did. So now it's weird because now I'm reacting to, like, I hear you guys every week and I say things to myself, but now that's going on the podcast.
Now it's official.
Yeah, now you got to watch out because now we can hear them.
We got a lot to talk about this issue. O.M. Grams. So we have poll results, Sean, for 2 polls, a double poll.
Oh, yeah.
So we had Whose Life Sucks More 2 issues ago, and the options were Coop, Henry, Benjamin, and Paige. That was The Curious Case of Benjamin 10. And you said Benjamin, right?
Yeah, I believe I did. I believe I almost said Paige, but I went with Benjamin.
And then I said Paige. So what did people say? What did you think?
I actually don't remember.
It's been like forever ago.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while ago. I don't remember what happened to each of them.
Yeah. I can tell you that Coop and Henry both got 1 vote on Instagram. Paige got 7 votes at 27%, and Benjamin was the winner at 17 votes, 65%.
Wow.
People liked them. And then Twitter said Ben and Paige. Paige, Ben, Paige. So between those two. So that one was pretty straightforward. Then we have this Barbas one, where people had to choose their favorite Barbas appearance. I said From Fear to Eternity, and Sean said Crimes and Witch Demeanors.
Yes.
This one was so crazy. What did you say?
What was the first one he was in?
From Fear to Eternity?
Yeah, that's what I had picked.
Okay. This is so across the board. Oh my goodness.
This was hard.
Yeah. And he was in more than 4, but I could only pick 4 choices. And on Instagram, Crimes and Witch Demeanors got the lowest at 9%.
Ugh.
I know.
Huh.
then Ms. Hellfire at 15%, and From Fear to Eternity and Sympathy for the Demon were tied at 38%.
Wow.
People love that Sympathy for the Demon. Let's say on Twitter, I think someone else said something. We had a lot of people say Sympathy for the Demon. But it's like, but Ms. Hellfire was iconic. And a lot of people wrote in Demon of Hope, so they loved the bad world. Someone said all of them.
Good answer.
Lots of Demon of Hope. But yeah, I think Sympathy for the Demon was the favorite overall. Even on Spotify, we had people voting. And in there, Sympathy for the Demon still won. All right, what else do we have to say today? Oh, someone wrote into me because in the last issue... No, sorry. Curious Case of Benjamin Turner. That one. So 2 issues ago. There was a picture of Cole and Phoebe's wedding. And someone was like, isn't that a You Look Familiar? I'm like, technically yes, but because we've seen that same image previously, I didn't count it.
Okay.
Because we already counted that You Look Familiar. So if I see a repeated image in a future comic book, I don't count that again.
Okay.
So I wanted to make that clear.
That's good to know.
Yeah. And when I did the power, I said fear amplification, which like that's not the right word. It's supposed to have been amplification. So that was goofy. Oh my gosh, there's so many things. We got another review.
I saw that one.
It's from Sir Nick Lee, 5 stars. It says, a wonderful show. It's great to hear from fellow Charmed fanatics like myself. Everyone is so funny, and it saves us time to get to the story of each comic. Keep it up, Kevin and the crew. Hearts.
Aw, I love that.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So that was nice. And we got our first ever write-in email, which is super exciting. This is Yannick Piront. I think that's probably not how you say it. But he wrote in about astral projection. He's still in the novels. He wrote in about astral projection and how he thinks it's stupid that, in season 7 they learned it, and it kind of is a diss to Prue. And we've talked about that. It's like astral projection is one of the few powers that can actually be taught. So I responded to him, and then he said, "Thank you for your answer. I'm only at episode 22, but I'm listening pretty much every day now. I'm a chef, and for the first 2 hours of my shift, I'm on my own, so I usually listen to a whole episode in the morning. Yes, astral projection can be taught, but that just makes it so much weirder that Prue wouldn't have shown them earlier, so it would have been great if she wrote it in the book. They didn't even need Shannon for this. Just a scene where Piper finds a new page in the book and smiles and knows it's from Prue. Aww."
Aw.
Thank you for making this podcast. I've always felt like I couldn't geek out about Charmed because it was something I was made fun of in school for watching, so I sort of kept it quiet just for me. Now listening to you and all these men and queer people discussing my favorite show feels right. And that's something you talk about in your life, how, the things that, were lame are now cool,
Yeah,
I feel like it was
made
never
fun of for
lame.
Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah, right. I didn't think it was lame.
Well, it's because of you, right?
Yeah,
You got like half the people into Charmed in the class.
that's true. But should we get started with this comic?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, so silence!
Damn it!
Scary.
I know, I'm such a scary person. So this is Season 10, Issue 12, Virtue. Published October 7th, 2015. Charm's anniversary.
Aww.
Yes, and it was written by Pat Shand, artwork by Lisa Feliz, colors by Valentina Cuomo, letters by Christy Sawyer, edited by Pat Shand, and cover art by David Seidman. And I love this cover mostly because of the Prue, the Shannon Doherty image. It stole her.
Yeah, and I liked it because it's just very intense looking.
Yeah, it's very high spirits, ghosty.
Yeah, technically, this is the first time I'm seeing it like on an actual comic page. So to me, that because I've been reading this on my phone.
Yeah,
So this looks way better
in print.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why I'm the asshole here, because I don't love it. I don't love this cover, but I'm looking at it on a phone, so maybe that's it. But I don't know. I like the idea of it. I just don't like the execution.
Yeah. I think I geek out so much because of Shannon's likeness here. I mean, that's Prue.
Yeah.
That's straight up
Yeah.
They
Prue.
managed to get away with it.
And they get away with it. And, like, she's in this comic. She's on this comic.
Yeah.
My heart is full. I think that's the main takeaway from it. I think the grimoire is drawn pretty well. It reminds me of, like, Never Ending Story. We have a confession to make.
No.
we have to confess what's happening
I
here.
guess we do.
So if we sound less enthused in this podcast, it's because we have to re-record it. We had some very awful technical difficulties the first time around, so we're doing it all over again.
All over.
I'm going to be just as excited. I don't care, but I'll do it.
I'm not a performer, so I can't.
Are you telling me the problem's me? I don't sound as enthused. Is that what you're subtly saying?
Yeah, we just get to tell the story of this wonderful issue twice, and we'll do it. Why not? So
Yeah,
here we
it'll
go.
be great. It'll be even more better the second time.
Yeah, we're better the second time around.
Let's hope.
So Sean, start us off.
Oh my god, I'd love to, Kevin. 'Cause I'm so enthused to. We're at the hotel, and we have Ben and Prue, who we notice they're both inhabiting somebody else's body, which is very interesting. And Ben's like, "So, what do you need me to do? I'm not exactly a professional here." And Prue's like, "I need a physical, human connection to tether my soul to the plane." And then she says, "You're going to ground me." And she's slowly cutting herself with, I don't know if this is just an athame or a dagger, or I think it's an athame.
I mean, athame is a ceremonial dagger, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
same thing.
So it works. And then he says, and what's beautiful, and what we notice is there's these beautiful Chinese characters behind them. And I'm so glad that we're more preparedness this time, because we're going to talk about it. I think they mean something throughout this comic. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Last time around, I surprised you with these meanings, but we had a write-in from Jay Wong, who knew that this issue was coming, and he, gave me the meanings. He's like, I know it's coming. I'm going to tell you what these mean. So the one in the first image with Ben means courage. The second one means caution. And the third one looks like it says X. So it means justice. And then the last one means prohibit alcohol, which are all virtues. Ooh. Yes, patience is a virtue.
Are you ready for me now?
Ready for you.
And I don't have to be obnoxious as Kevin.
That's not possible.
Okay, so the top panel, we got Prue.
Yeah.
She's got her hands over, looks like a tin or something, a bowl. And she says, "Here." So, and that's when she gets cut by the athame. I did it again. She says, "Just hold on." And in the last panel, she's looking in front of her, and she's a spirit of some sort. And she's like, "Oh, well, look who it is."
Yes, Glowburger Prue.
Yeah. I didn't notice the first time either. She's like smearing her blood all over
Her blood
Benjamin.
all over Benjamin's. Yeah. Like,
Oh, yeah.
hold on to me. And really, we didn't talk about this last time either, but she's holding on to Benjamin. She needs Benjamin as part of the ritual so that she can ground
Yeah,
herself
that's
here.
kind of what I was getting when I read
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
So smear my blood. We're blood people, blood brothers, whatever. And yeah, this is grounding me to this plane whilst I travel inside my mind's eye.
Interessant.
So the next page, it's in her mind blood's eye. And we see all around here this border of blood. So it's very interesting. And we see the ghostly, glowy form of Prue. And you can tell that this is Prue because she has that long hair. I can just picture Shannon, even though she's like super bright and exposed, it's like the silhouette. And I'm like, I dig it. But we hear a voice say, "Finally made it, huh?" Prue's like, "Someone's been expecting me? Huh? How is this possible?" And then she's like, "Oh yeah, I've been waiting for a while for you. Isn't it just like you to show up with no invite, isn't it?" Prue says, "Who are you?" And the voice says, "You don't know? Well, that's insulting." Journey into the depths of your mind, and she forgets the skeletons in her closet. Such a sad story. And then Prue looks in front of her, and she sees the Imperial Sword and the grimoire all like engulfed in tissue, bloody tissue. I don't know.
It's viscera.
Visceral, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some spider webs on the grimoire. And she's like, "Oh my god, this is those things." And then the voice says, "Oh, the heroic Prudence Halliwell came back from the dead to save her sisters' lives, absorbed the Imperial Sword and the greatest good, and the grimoire, the wickedest witchery in the West, and to her stolen body, and here we are." So she's mad at her. And then Prue's like, "Hey, wait up! Who are you? What's this voice?" And then we see the torso of the other figure, and she says, "Oh, come on, Prue."
How interesting is it though? I just realized this that like we're seeing the Imperial sword is like engulfed in light and like a much more light side, and there's these
Yeah.
cobwebs on the grimoire side, and it looks like Prue has to go through the cobwebs in order to get to this figure. So she
That's
has to go to
true.
the grimoire side in order to reach whoever this figure is.
Oh. And we didn't know. We didn't catch it the
Well,
last
that's fitting
time.
our theories.
So she's
That
walking.
is.
She's walking towards the dark part of her psyche.
Mm-hmm. And Prue walks into this shadowy area, and who does she see but a lady with short blonde hair and a white dress? And she turns, looking over her shoulder, and she says, "Have some patience." It's patience.
Yeah.
Patience.
Oh, she's alive. She's alive?
Mhm.
Question mark?
Yes. All right. On the next page, they're at a beach, and you see somebody screaming "mimosas," and it's Kira, of course. She says, "Keep it coming, bartender. I'm buying." And Paige says, "No, I'll pass."
Where'd she get money from?
Yeah, that's true.
Where'd
What
she
has
get
she
money?
been doing that she's been able to afford brunches? Anyway, I was gonna say Rose. Paige says, "No, I'll pass," because of course she doesn't drink. Piper says, "I'm good," and Phoebe says, "Actually, that sounds amazing." And Piper says, "It's 9:30 in the morning," and Phoebe says, "Yes, but mimosas." And then Kira says, "That's what I'm talking about, girlfriend. Ladies, Phoebe is a woman who understands me." And then Paige says, "Oh, and how are you alive?" And Piper goes, "Maybe we'd understand you a little if you told us why exactly you wanted to meet here. Not that it would be helpful." And Phoebe's grabbing a mimosa in the last panel.
We see Kira continue. She's like, "Prue didn't tell you? Well, things happen. She brought me out of the past.
Out of the past.
And she saved me from being vanquished. So now I've never been vanquished. Isn't that amazing?" It was a whole thing. And she's like, "Last time I saw you, I was a demon. So I wanted to make sure you guys felt safe. So we're meeting in a nice public place, getting drinks. I'm like one of the girls now." And then Phoebe, she's like, "Oh my God, Kira, you're human. Now I can be with you and fall in love with you like I wanted to begin with. Oh my God, you're my lover." She's like, "I can feel your soul from here."
That's not all.
Yeah. They're playing footsie underneath the table. Oh, she's holding her hand too. She's like, "Girlfriend." And then Akira's like, "I know, isn't it neat?" Yeah. And then Piper's like, "Oh yeah, you're human. I guess Prue gave you that too." She's like, "Yep, that's correct." And Paige says, "So if you're human, why are you giving us mimosas instead of like living your life?" She's like, "Oh yeah, that. I tried that. I went shopping and I did yoga and it was boring." So I guess I have a job now because I have money, but I don't do that. I don't do that either.
Yeah. You know what she's doing for money. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Winky face.
Yeah. Yeah.
She probably gamed the market.
She probably created OnlyFans. She invented it.
Whoa.
I invented Post-its. So next we see like she's slowly turning into Heath Ledger Joker as she's talking.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. I did some thinking and I realized even though I'm human, I could be so much more. I found my purpose. I'm gonna be like you three. And then Paige is like, "What the fuck? Come again?" And then Phoebe's just like downing mimosas. She needs more to drink. And Kira's like, "I'm gonna fight evil. Bartender, another." And Paige is like, "It's not as simple as that. You don't even have a P name, and Pyrrha sounds stupid." I wish she said that. That'd be amazing.
Right.
Kira says, "Oh, sure it is. I have more pent-up knowledge about all things evil than probably anyone else alive, including but not limited to your sister." And Phoebe's like, "Prue isn't evil." And Kira says, "Well, she ain't all good, that's for sure. And don't think I'm not grateful. Someone throws a parade in her honor, I'm in. But in exchange for this shiny new soul, I took a look-see into her, and what I saw, ooh."
Oh.
On the next page, the top panel, there's a narration box, and it's over the hotel or the motel that.
Yes, this is Kira continuing her
Yes,
conversation.
continuing her conversation. where Benjamin and Prue are. And the text box says, or the narration box says, it's eating you alive every time you even think about her. And then the next panel, it's another narration box, and it won't stop until it gets what it wants. And it's Shax from behind, and he's all electric-y.
Lightning burgering. Look at that butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaq's butt.
Maybe this is my sexiest.
Last panel is close-up of his eyes. The charmed one's dead.
So then we're back in the blood mind eye, and we see Prue talking to Patience, and she's like, "This is a trick. This is the grimoire or something, trying to take over." And Patience says, "That's not true." And Prue's like, "No, but this is impossible. You were brain dead. If there was a chance you would come back, I would never have done this. Whatever." Patience says, "Wouldn't have what? Got into my body like a parasite, hollowed me out into a shell, filled me up with evil." And she's like, I didn't mean to. I'm such a good person. Why?" And so Patience says, "This is not yours to control, Prue. You violated me, violated me because you were too much of a coward to pass on." And she's like, "Bitch, I don't need this. I came here to find out the source of..." She's like, "Evil? Yeah, it's you, bitch. You're the evil one." She's like, "No!" Prue's like, "It's the grimoire. It has to be the grimoire. I just have to crawl over these spiderwebs and get to it and destroy it, and everything will be A-okay." But then she goes, "Ah!" And she gets shocked. She can't get to it. And Patience says, "Oh, bummer. You're too late. It's a part of you now. And you know what's not a part of you? Me. I'm my own person."
Would you say that Prue is Gwen Stefani right now as she's crawling through the spider webs?
Yeah, exactly.
So next up, we see the girls who brunch, and Piper's like, "Wait, you're saying that Prue's doing this on purpose?" And Kira's like, no, not even a little. If she had it her way, she'd be back in her boring old body with her boring old powers. And she'd definitely lose those tacky tribal tattoos. Here's the crux of it. It gets a bit jargony, so I'll try to dumb it down for you. And Paige rolls her eyes and goes, "Thanks." So then Kira says, "So there's the power of three, right? Started out as Piper, Phoebe, and Prue. Prue goes off and gets killed by Shax, or as I call him, Blue Fabio with hair problems. So the power of three transfers to Paige. Yay, happy ending. Except not, because Big Sister is scared to take a dive into the great big ocean of afterlife and ends up playing house in Patience." Oof, so much talking. But because magic is bound to rules, stupid rules, am I right? But rules nonetheless, the power of three starts going crazy. Prue strips herself of her destiny so that Paige can finally truly inherit her place, which would have worked just fine, but then Prue absorbs the two most powerful artifacts known to man and becomes the nexus of the all. Kira, bitch, we know all of this. That's Piper. And then Kira says, "Oh, bitch, but you really don't. You don't get what it means. Prue's body, surging with all that power, is reaching out for what it used to have." And Phoebe says, "The power of three, bitch." And then Kira says, "Bingo, bitch." So without meaning to, she's stripping it from you. But magic, as it does, is resisting. Your minds and futures are a metaphysical battleground, folks. And if you don't stop it before too long, everyone with Hollowell blood will be dead. Well, except for Prue. Kind of ironic for her, no? And then Paige is like, "So what do we do, bitch?"
Yeah. So I love this, though, because this is where we get the real revelation of what the nexus of the all, what it means to be the nexus of the all. And it's just like draining the power unwillingly, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we kind of like theorized that's what was going on, and we were kind of on the right track.
Right.
Yep.
So it's slowly sucking the power, sucking the life essence.
Like corrupting
Yeah.
the soul.
Yeah. I do love that we do kind of have like a picture of Shannon here with the three of them, except there's like a crack in front of her face.
Oh, yeah.
With Kira. It's like, "That's Prue. I know it, bitch." Like,
All right, next page. Back at the motel. Ha. Yep. Another narration box. You stop her before she stops you. And You can see Shax's shadow at Patience and Benjamin, still life locked or whatever you called it, soul.
And that Chinese symbol is caution.
Oh.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah. So Ben says, holy, and then Shax goes, heh, 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 and throws Ben into the wall, and he crashes and puts a big old hole in the wall. And then we have Prue, crisscross applesauce. And then...
That Prue one is the caution. The one with Benjamin is prohibit alcohol. Never mind.
Okay, well that
I'm looking at
changes everything.
Okay.
And Cole's body, but Benjamin going, what the hell are you? And Shax saying, the end.
Ooh, and the one down there is Justice.
Justice. Ooh.
Ooh.
See, that actually works there.
A face-off with Prue and Shax. Ooh. Okay, so we're back in the blood mind with Prue Ghost. And we see Patience say, I had friends, a family, a life, and you stole any chance I had of ever giving it back. And Prue's like, no, you were brain dead. There's no way. And Patience says, and you were dead. It's like, you came here looking for answers, Prue. Well, here they are. You have the power to stop this. You know, the Grimoire and the Imperial Sword are bound to you, but if you leave this body and move on, then, you know, it'll be good, and I can have my body back. And Patience tries to, puts her hand on her shoulder. She tries to touch her, and Prue's like, get off me. I can't. She's like, what? Friends and a family? Right. Yeah. You're killing them just by being around. Let go. And then this is her Super Saiyan moment, glowing purple. She's like, and she's like, give me back my body.
And like a boss, Prue just casually grabs Patience's mouth and stops her. And she's like, no, bitch, it's not your. And then Patience Prue, because she senses something's going on. Prue's using blue lightning magic on her. And then Prue goes, body! And sends her off and explodes her in a bloody bath of bloody hellness. Crazy.
Yeah. This was it.
Yep, this was intense.
Yeah, and we noticed the first time around, it seems like there's a lot of symbology.
Symbolism.
Yeah.
Symbolism, that's the word. I know words. It seems like they're alluding to the fact that the Imperial Sword is behind Prue, and she's almost taking the place of where the Grimoire would be. So it's alluding to maybe the Grimoire has a hold over her, and especially in the last image on this page when she's on the ground on her knees, the Grimoire very much seems to be towering over her, she's leaning, praying to it in a way.
It's almost she literally became the Grimoire in that moment, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still getting chills?
I still get chills. This is a very...
It is.
This is where the comic takes a turning point. It's a very strong moment, and it's very jarring, and it's very... and generally, this would be uncharacteristic of Prue because she's all about saving innocence. But at this point in her life, she is tired of sacrificing herself, and she just wants the life she feels she was robbed of, and she's still clinging on to that so vigorously, you know?
Yeah, and this is where I thought, this is where her soul was being corrupted.
Yeah.
All right, on the next page, top panel, they're back at the motel, and they're, what do you say, blurbling, because they look like water droplets.
Water droplets. I'm raining in.
And the next panel,
Rainburgering.
we've got Piper who sees Shax and goes, "Oh my god!" And no, wait, that was Phoebe. Phoebe says, "Oh my god!" And Piper says, "He's here." And Paige says, "He can't be. We vanquished him that first time." Kroom. Prue. Actually, we should be looking which. Okay, there's a symbol.
That's
on
Justice again.
Justice again, and the one behind Shax.
I can't. I don't know what that is.
But he's shooting his aerokinesis.
I think it's courage. That's the courage one.
He's shooting his aerokinesis at Prue. Throws her through the wall, and then Piper screams, "No!" And then it's Phoebe down there going, "Oh no, oh god, not again!" It's Shax is starting to do his aerokinesis wind thing again.
Yeah. I didn't do the power play earlier, so I'll do it now because it's a power play. Power play. Today's power play is aerokinesis. I bet you never heard that word before.
Yeah. No. Got
And
me.
this is the power to create wind and to manipulate its movement. Users can create short bursts of high-speed gusts of wind of various strength. One can psychically control the temperature and intensity of wind currents, use wind to propel oneself or chosen targets, almost like telekinesis, except it's airbending, shape air particles and wind currents into tools and constructs, and to generate certain wind-related weather phenomena like cyclones, tornadoes, or typhoons. Or lightning, I guess, apparently, because Shax is doing the lightning. We also have, what Shax does here is like aerokinetic blasts, where they create large, concentrated amounts of air and focus it into a powerful blast or ball of wind capable of killing humans and other magical beings with merely one blast. It is vastly more powerful and deadly than just creating gusts.
And I just learned that just now.
Just now for the very first time.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
This also was You Look Familiar moment.
It's funny, she's so familiar to me, though. Reminds me of this old stray that used to hang outside my loft.
Familiars. That's what I'm looking for.
Have we met before? You look familiar.
And
There you
Sean
go.
got it last time.
Yep. Shocked.
So tell us again what this You Look Familiar moment is.
This is You Look Familiar is like this is the exact same way in the show that Prue got thrown out the wall. Sounds funny to say,
Yeah.
thrown out the wall.
Yeah, and that one panel of Shax literally shooting the blast is straight up from All Hell Breaks Loose. It's from the second blast where he hits Piper, but yeah, it's there. It's iconic. It's accurate. We'll do a side by side of that. You'll get to see them together.
Cool.
Ooh.
So the next page is Prue laying in the rubble, just like she did in All Hell Breaks Loose, laying in the rubble. Ooh, another callback. And Piper's like, you! And then we see Prue's eyes closed. And then it cuts to Shax going, and Paige says, I can't feel her, Piper. It doesn't hurt anymore. And I think this is trying to insinuate that Prue is dead. You know, that now that
Recreating the moment.
right. And now that she's dead, that they can't feel the power draining from them and giving the headaches and stuff. But still not the case. So we see Prue's eyes open ever so slightly. And then Shax is about to throw his attack at Phoebe. And Phoebe's like, it's about to. But then we see Prue's eyes wide open. She's like, what? I'm awake. Ha! And then the other sisters say, we have to do this quick. Do you remember the spell? And Paige says, I'll never forget it.
And then we have this very X-Men moment where Prue is like floating along with all the debris around her. Eyes are all glowy burger, and she's like, please, like I'd let you vanquish this son of a bitch without me, bitch.
So Phoenixy. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Or Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The power!
Yep.
What's the symbol, Kevin?
This
We're
symbol
doing that. The one behind Piper.
looks like courage. That one's
Okay.
courage.
So So Shax is shooting his aerokinesis, screaming "enough" at Piper, who seems pretty unfazed by that.
I'm so happy you're alive, Prue.
Dum, dum, dum. And yeah, she's just so enamored that Prue is there.
It's like, I don't even notice that I'm going to be hit in the face.
And then in the next panel, you have Prue with her arm up, and she says, "This is the end, Shax.
The end.
This is the end, Shax. None of my sisters are dying today." And she turns his blast into a little butterfly.
I am a beautiful butterfly.
Which, and then Prue screams, "Go! If you're near me, you'll just be in pain."
Oh, she's so fierce.
Yeah, right?
And then we see Prue continuing. Shax is on his knees. She's like, I can handle this alone. And Phoebe says, but you don't have to. Paige with a tear in her eye. I love how Paige is so like, I'm so moved by this. She's like, we'll say it together.
I can do it easily, but like if you want to feel like you're special, that's fine. I don't care.
Whatever.
So then we see the four sisters surrounding Shax, who's making like windy ball power energy lightning burgers, and we have a rhyme time.
Should we try a spell?
Why not? Let's try a spell.
In the wind, I sing this rhyme. Bring death before me, before my time.
You've really got to lay off the rhyming, Prue.
Wonderful.
Witty, but wordy.
I did the rhyme. I will do the time. Good night.
And they say, evil wins that blow, that which forms below. No longer may you dwell. Death takes you with this spell.
And the Chinese things, the one that's behind Prue is caution. And the one that's behind Piper is justice. Which means Paige would probably have prohibit alcohol.
Mhm.
And Phoebe would have courage. That would make my heart happy if that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's like setting up what's going to happen, because they need to use caution with Prue because she seems like she's slipping, and then like the courage and
Yeah.
justice is interesting.
Yeah. Mm.
So on the next page, we have Shax, who's blowing up now, going, no! And he's blowing up in like a ball of electricity. He goes, crack, coom! And then there's a bunch of smoke, and there's a silhouette in that smoke, and it's Tyler. And he goes, what the actual hell? Which gets me every time, because it's just funny. Anyway,
It's so funny. Like, huh?
so you came there to kill me.
Yeah, so that's the start of the next page. So you came here to kill me? Back at the manor!
Ooh.
Yeah. And you came here to, and Prue continues, you came here to kill me because she said so? And Kira's like, hey, what's the emphasis on she? I am a completely reliable source, and I have a soul. Remember, you gave me that. The whole you telling my sisters to kill me thing suggests otherwise. And Benjamin is in the corner with bandages on. When did he go to the hospital? I don't know.
I don't know.
Look at his face. He's like, damn.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just here.
Yeah.
Kira's like, no, that's not how it went down. This is what happened. So that's what I said. I said, you need to stop her before she stops you. And Piper even asked me if I was going to kill you, but she's like, I'm not a crazy murderer. So when I said, I am the seer, and I have something that can help you. And Paige is like, oh, really? But it's like, we can't even like get near Prue without our heads exploding. So how can we even get near her? She's like, oh, you don't have to. I got this potion. And potion. You can get that t-shirt on the Where's the Witches at Threadless.com.
Potion.
It's a potion with Sean's head on it. Sean's face on it.
Whoa!
I know, amazing.
Brilliant.
So Kira holds up this potion, and that's how it ends, that page.
All right, and then last page. So we have Prue saying, so that potion, and Phoebe says, it still hurts a bit, but nothing worse than how I normally feel during allergy season. And Piper says, we gave it to the kids too. And Prue says, you're saying, she's starting to cry. And Kira's like, don't get too Oprah's book club, Prue. It's a handy dandy concoction, but it's made from ambrosia, bitch. And she says it'll protect them from any harmful magical energy, namely yours. No offense. But we've got less than a week. If we're going to solve this thing, we have to do it now. And Piper says, and we will. Together. And the four sisters hug.
You know what?
Beautiful moment.
It's so cute, so sentimental. I just noticing this now. I love like Kira's long reach to touch Prue's shoulder. She's like reaching over
a fantastic arm.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's like also her still not quite understanding human.
There. Let me touch you. Put your hand on my shoulder. Yeah. So, and that's the end.
Yeah. I thought it was very good. It was intense. It was well written. Brisk,
baby.
Yeah. Even though you guys included all those bitches in there, it was quite a serious.
We didn't do that the first time.
Yeah, no, we did.
It's brand new. The bitches are new.
We're just off the wall now. But no, it's very good.
What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I really like this whole Prue story. It reminds me of Quanon and Psylocke, and how like Psylocke inhabited Quanon's body, and I love Psylocke so much that this reminds me of it, which heightens it for me. And I know you guys haven't heard this before, but I also really like in Revenge of the Sith, I feel like Anakin like had such a small catalyst to turn evil. He's like, oh, my girlfriend's dead. I'm going to kill these kids now with my lightsaber. But like Prue's actually slowly like descending into madness. And I don't know if she turns evil, but it gives you the sense that she will, because we're getting these hints and seeing it happening.
Yeah, interesting. And Steven told me he had a theory that Prue went evil. So I'm like, I need you for this comic because I think this gives you the little hints, the little hintlings.
But I think it would just be narratively, it'd be the most brilliant thing to do dramatically.
Yeah. And Bobby Calloway, our Bobby Iceman friend, said the exact same thing. He said, it would have been really interesting if Prue became the villain.
But even though you like see this coming right now, it's again goes back to Pat Shan said it's how it happens. Right? Even if you predict it. Like,
and it's she's not trying to to be a villain. She's trying to do what she believes is right, and she wants the status quo with her sisters, and she wants to feel that love and security again and be the protector. And so it all comes from a really good place.
Yeah
which makes for the best villains when they think that they're right and doing good things.
Yep.
Yeah. And Prue is scary. I think she did very awful things here. I mean, taking over patients for one. I mean, you can argue that she didn't know, but that's still a violation. She did really violate patients. And then the fact that she like completely obliterated her, like that's dark.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
That's scary. She destroyed a soul.
Yeah, like, and that's kind of a wrong thing to do, Prue. Badass as hell. I love it, but it's questionable.
Yeah.
Questionable. Put it lightly.
Yeah. So yeah, I love this so much. Everything, and I like that we see the journey with Prue. She goes through this whole arc of surprise and guilt, and then she goes crazy. So, but cool. What do we have for canonical?
Oh yeah.
Put that in my canonical hat.
Let's see. What did I say last time? Oh, I mentioned that Paige passed on the mimosas because, of course,
she doesn't drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that Kira is, of course, wearing that outfit that you see her originally in. Yeah.
Yeah. Those two.
I wanted to call. It's really subtle, but if you look at the spell,
no, that's mine. That's mine.
I almost said it when it came up.
This is my special thing that you already heard, but it's fine. So, this spell, the Shax of Vanquishing spell, is not correct.
Do tell, Kevin.
Do tell. I'm going to surprise you with this knowledge.
Just
dropping
shocked.
the knowledge. It's only with this first line, though, really. It says, evil winds that blow, with the S on the winds. However, every single time it's said in the series, both times it's in All Hell Breaks Loose and the time it's said in Charmed Again, they say evil wind, no S, evil wind that blows, that which forms below. And that's how I always thought it was, because that's all that I've heard. There is a Shax Vanquishing spell page in the Book of Shadows, and that is also different. It says, and actually there's another part that nobody ever says. It says, to vanquish Shax, chant, is a demon of evil winds that blows. So it has an S on wind and an S on blows, winds and blows, which is, again, different.
yeah.
So we have 3 different versions.
You said that version wasn't actually shown in the show?
They never showed this page ever in the show itself.
Okay.
They showed it in special features on the DVDs. So it was made, but they never showed the page, which is very odd for this very important demon to never show the Book of Shadows page that was created for it. But yeah, so the Book of Shadows, what's said in the show and what's said here are all different. Which one do you prefer? I mean, here it says the one. I know why they did it in this, because blow and below rhyme better.
I don't know. I have no real preference, to be perfectly honest. I would. It's such a minute detail. That's why.
Yeah, very minor, and nobody in the fandom talks about it. Nobody in the community ever talks about the differences here.
Until now,
I'm bringing it up. So if people never knew, now they know.
Yeah, and it's a hard one, because evil wind that blows makes more sense to me, because he is an evil wind that blows. It describes him, but then it doesn't rhyme with below. But then blow and below are like so close anyway. It's not the greatest rhyme, so I don't know if that matters as much.
Yeah, and I always go with what was actually said in the episodes, because that was my first hearing of it. That's how I always remembered it. So when people said it differently, I always noticed. Like people, like fans, they would say evil winds that blow. I'm like, that's not right. It's evil wind that blows. That's how it always has been. So,
well, I always feel that fans really make what's canon.
Right.
Like the shows and stuff or whatever can do what they want, but ultimately it's the fan base who says this is canon and this isn't.
Right.
That's not true because Poe and Finn never got together. I never got to see them kiss.
Sure.
Yeah. Star Wars reference.
I know those characters, kind of. Yeah. What is your tips for future white letter?
Oh, we're really just messengers? Guides? Think of us as guardian angels for good witches.
Tips for future white letters.
I was out being a force of good in the universe.
What's the moral of the story?
Yeah, I can do my Scream reference.
Scream
Which
reference.
Randy said, the past is not at rest.
Yes.
Well, I actually had two because I also said accept death, but I had to do my Scream reference, obviously.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not at rest.
Yeah, and mine, basically just personal gain. Like, watch out for personal gain because she just literally exploded a person that she stole their body from. So this is going to come back around and get her. I know it. And this is the ultimate price.
Yeah.
Yep.
You took a life. Literally took a life.
Yeah, and like I actually realized I pointed this out before. In our first thing is that Prue didn't accept death.
Mm-hmm.
And this is repercussion. And that was tying into what Sean said. So it all comes full circle.
Yeah. Mine is blood is thicker than water. Some will do whatever it takes, even horrible, monstrous things, to keep their families safe, happy, and together in their desired status quo. Prue has a want, a life that she wants to complete. And yeah, she's going to do whatever it takes to get it and keep it. Next is onomatopoeia. Do you remember what you said last time?
Yeah, mine was Ka-kroom or something.
Raccoon.
Ka-kroom.
With the Shax vanquishing and reappearing as Tyler. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Mine, I chose for a silly reason because it reminds me of like the bestest show ever. But the Japanese opening when they yell "shock"
Of X-Men anime, yeah.
X-Men the animated series, yeah.
Yeah. And mine was Craw, the first half of yours. I didn't do the second part.
Coom.
Most valuable panel.
Ooh. Well, actually, it was.
I know what it is.
Yeah, I know. It was.
I remember.
It was Prue destroying Patience's soul, basically. The honorable mention was Patience, the Have Some Patience panel.
Yeah.
Just because it's so comic book and it just looks beautiful.
Yeah.
So mine is the page where the four girls are surrounding Shax for multiple reasons. I feel like Shax took a lot of power away from the girls by killing Prue. He like destroyed Piper. Phoebe had to help bring her up, and this is kind of like the sisters getting their due. Like they get to all band together. Prue gets her revenge. Paige gets to kind of connect with Prue a little bit more by vanquishing him with her. It's just such a great shot, and like especially we talked about before, like the writing behind them probably having a deeper meaning.
Right.
So
and now we looked into it. The second time around. Yeah. So
and I'm gonna point out that I only didn't pick this one because Shax looks stupid.
Right. But I picked this one as well because it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so cathartic. It's such the fan service moment, but it's a well deserved, it's what we always wanted. Just the four of them getting revenge for Prue's death and being together and it's amazing. It's a wonderful moment. And I still like Shax's body in it.
I know, but like I said, the face, Kevin.
I know the face.
The butterface.
Sexiest drawing. Now you can talk about your sexiest.
Oh, well.
Ooh la la.
Because we all don't know that it's this one of Prue coming in, just breaking through this wall.
It's the rise of the Phoenix.
Yep. Please. Like I'd let you vanquish the son of a bitch without me. It's just,
bitch.
She looks sexy. It's just hot.
It's so beautiful.
And just badass. So that just makes
one.
it even sexier.
That's the one.
Yep.
That's the one for all of us.
Yep.
All of us picked that one.
Oh, really?
I know. 3 for 3, but it's amazing that we're all on the same page because it's that epic. It's that amazing.
And we didn't plan that.
No. I did not change my answer last minute. But yeah, obsessed. Issue ranking. We have Magically Delicious, Pretty Witchin', A Sorcerer's Apprentice, Disenchanting, or Vanquishable. Let's say it on 3, all of us. Magically Delicious.
Lucky Charms. Oh.
We all
Yeah.
think this is amazing, exceptional episode.
And now this is what?
issue.
This is the fourth time I read it, and it's still amazing.
Fourth time I read it.
Yeah.
Twice in an hour.
Yeah.
But it's so good. It's so
Yeah.
good. Well, now we have a Grimoire game.
What is this, some kind of game?
Grimoire Games!
Some people think this is entertainment.
You guys get a second chance.
Yeah, but that's good. That's almost worse.
I
'cause
know.
I don't remember
Last time
any of them.
I played this game. Each of you got a point each.
And
It's such a hard thing for you guys. Let's see if you remembered the answers since last time we played this.
I think I remember
because
one.
now you got an advantage because you heard the answers. So
I know
don't
what the
remember
answer.
same one.
I remember the one that I got.
But yeah, the one you got. Play it again and see if you remember.
Weirdly, no. Okay, yeah, go.
But I call this game "Blow Me Away."
You just made like all of our listeners wet.
Squish. Okay. All right. So here we go. I'll give you a clue, and these are all characters from Charmed, either in the show or past lore, that have aerokinesis. So see if you can name this character. All right. So this character is a past life that conjured the elements.
I don't know the
Who
name.
remembers? Who remembers?
I just feel I was gonna mix up. I thought of another answer that was for a different one, and I realized this isn't the one.
You don't remember?
No.
Is this the sorceress, the past life of Paige?
Okay, and what's her name?
Madam
Enchantress?
Sorceress?
The Enchantress?
Enchantress.
Was it Enchantress?
What kind of enchantress?
Evil Enchantress?
An evil enchantress.
Was that it?
Yes. I'll give you a point to both of you since you both kind of did it together. So
That's not a real name.
The evil enchantress.
I was gonna say Freckles, but that's
later. See,
I know what that one is.
Now you remembered. Now you'll never forget.
Weirdly enough.
So the next one is a quote. It's not nice to piss off Mother Nature.
Okay, so this one was Piper.
As
Mother Gaia.
Sure.
As
Goddess
of Earth.
Goddess of Earth. Yes. We're like
you're floundering over here. It's fine. But you're doing better than before.
Well, I'm Sebastianing.
So next one is this character is the one that started it all.
Was this one Jeremy?
This one's Jeremy.
Oh no,
yeah, I
wait.
remember his name.
It's Jeremy.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was okay. I thought maybe it was going back. Like,
And that was the one that Sean got right last
Yeah.
time, but he didn't remember his name. But
yeah, that's when he got right last time.
So next is this character had pigtails and left
this was
a cold
Freckles.
truck.
This is Freckles.
Yeah.
So obvious.
Freckles.
Everybody
So
knows her name.
who was Freckles? You did not know her name because they never said it in the episode.
Yeah.
up.
It was a little girl.
It was a
The
little
ice
girl.
cream truck
You said
girl.
the ice cream truck.
I said
kid.
the ice cream girl.
Yeah, the ice cream girl. But she would blow in her hand, go,
Yeah.
and then
They would
blow people away. Blow me away.
so clever.
And she got rid of that dead body. That Jersey. Jersey was the other kid. It's like killing. Yeah, and then Ari was the ringleader. And I remember that kid. After I watched this episode, I remember that kid in commercials. That's the kid that was the ice cream kid. He was in all the commercials back in the day. Yeah, Freckles was the girl. Okay, next we have this skeletal being coveted an immortal heart.
But I don't know the name.
You don't remember his name?
Necron.
Necron, yes.
I should have got that because Necro.
Yeah.
That was actually.
He only showed this very briefly in the episode.
I'll just say.
Yeah. So, yeah.
If the next thing is the one from the book, I don't remember the name.
This is the one from the book.
God damn it.
So this is the last one. This was the demon in Beware What You Wish, the 10th novel, Prue's last novel. So this is going back to episode 10.
Yeah.
Was that the one Paul was on?
That's the one Paul was on.
It was axolotl. Something.
Axolotl. That's cute.
It was. Did it start with an A?
Yes, start with an A.
Okay.
Absalon?
I don't
No.
know.
No,
Asparagus.
Rex, this is
I
not.
know.
Asparagus.
Asperger's.
So, no. It's Atulak.
Atulak.
Yes. In that
Atulak.
book. So I read that book, Beware What You Wish. It's very good. Okay. So, I don't know who had points, but there you go.
We did better.
You did better this time now that you heard the answers the first time and still forgot them.
It's still
weird.
All right. So, Sean, I did not forget. Tell us what's next.
So I love this cover, issue 13. It's Phoebe and Coop with little cherubs like behind them. It looks like they're being attacked. I just realized that they're being attacked by the cute little cherub people.
They're evil looking. Ooh.
Yeah.
Never trust them.
It's called Court of Love, and it says Phoebe and Coop stand before the Court of Love, awaiting judgment for Coop's actions. Piper and Leo approach the elders for help with the Prue dilemma. Paige and Henry find themselves contemplating a future apart. Ben and Kira join together to help Prue descend into the demonic wasteland for answers. Yeah, none of this is going to go well. This sounds so good. I can't wait. There's so much going on.
The start of the end. The start of volume 3.
Of the end.
The end.
Cool. Well, we did it again. Again.
Did it take us longer this time, though? I think.
I don't know.
Looks like it was 49 minutes last time, wasn't it?
Of course, that was like the third part of the messed up stuff. We had like 10
Oh,
minutes
you're right.
that.
Never mind. Oh,
All right.
cool.
Yeah. So I think we're a little bit quicker this time around, obviously.
Should be.
But, Stephen, tell people where they can find you.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram, and it's just Stephen Eifler, and that's StephenEiffler, or you can Google Brown Deer Public Library's staff blog.
That's in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Wisconsin.
And that's where I put my media reviews up.
Yeah. You write articles and things.
Yeah, I actually did one on the first 3 seasons of Charmed.
You did? Read it.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, where can we find you?
Cool. You can find me and my honey Alan on A Marvelous Galaxy of Disney, our weekly news on Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney and the parks. You can find my travel company on mymagicaljourneys.com with Victoria, or you can find my book, Witch's Brew, A Dream of Waking, on Amazon. Bam!
Bam.
And you can also find Sean and I on Solving for X. We are in the final four-part of the season 4 finale of X-Men the Animated Series.
Ooh.
Beyond Good and Evil. Yeah, so that's exciting. We're finishing off that season. And you can follow this podcast at Words of the Witches on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Or if you're on Twitter, it's Words of Witches. So yeah. Oh my gosh, we did it. And again. Yeah, so enjoy your week, and next week we'll see you for Court of Love spell worders. Ooh, it's about to go down.
Yes.
Yeah. Your destiny still awaits. Until then. Bye.
Escafalante.
Bye.